Thousands of migrants have died whilst crossing Africa, according to a UN report that estimates over 70 people perish each month on the continent's routes. This week in Geneva, representatives from the UN Refugee Agency and the International Organization for Migration said migrants face tremendous challenges and unspeakable brutality while trying to make it to Europe and a better life. Nearly a third of those who die along these overland routes tried to cross the Sahara Desert. Others died in the south of war-ravaged Libya, while another deadly route crosses conflict-ridden Central African Republic and Mali. Those who survive are often left severely traumatized.
In 47% of the case, the victims reported the perpetrators of violence are law enforcement authorities, whereas in the past we believed that it was mainly smugglers and traffickers. Yet, yes, they are key perpetrators of violence, but the primary perpetrators of violence are people who are supposed to protect.
Mali's opposition protest movement, nicknamed the M5 RFP Alliance, has repeated its demand for President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta to resign as the country's political crisis drags on.
From this moment, we reset the counters to zero. Resign, Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta and your regime. This counter will continue to run, and we said that the truce that was announced by the M5 RFP will end in a few days.
A summit of 5 regional presidents in Bamako failed to solve the deadlock. The government has agreed to sharing power with the protesters following the mediators' recommendations, but certain government-allied MPs refuse to step down.
It's not their place to ask for that.
What resignation?
Overall, the 30 members of parliament who make up this group have agreed not to resign.
Tanzanian opposition heavyweight Tundu Lissu, who was shot 16 times in a 2017 assassination attack, returned from exile this week to challenge President John Magufuli in elections later this year. He'd been living in Belgium and underwent more than 20 medical operations. Nobody has been convicted with the assassination attempt. Ahead of the polls, the United States last month accused the country of seeking to stifle democratic norms with a string of arrests of opposition figures and the closure of a newspaper. During an interview with AFP before returning from Europe, Lissu said he has what it takes to get rid of President Magufuli, but that the election is fraught with challenges.
Whether we are going to get to have free and fair elections, that is not the question. We don't expect that. The issue is, are we going to be alive? Are we going to have our lives by the end of the electoral process? Because this government is so violent, has acted with so much violence, that is the biggest fear. Will we have elections?
A stadium has been turned into a field hospital in the Kenyan town of Machakos, 60 kilometres from the capital Nairobi, where people with mild symptoms of COVID-19 can isolate. Kenya is ramping up health facilities to deal with growing numbers of coronavirus infections. Here at the stadium, patients have much greater space and are able to move around more than they otherwise would in a hospital.
We anticipate the capacity of the stadium will be over 400 patients. We are getting in more beds and more materials in preparation, and also the new ward, the other ward, is we are intending to open today. We are anticipating the numbers of the patients as the numbers continue to surge. So I'll say we have the capacity. We have been supported by the government concerning the same.
In the intensive care unit at the county hospital down the road, doctors give special care to patients in more serious conditions. Kenya has around 20,000 confirmed cases of the virus so far. And finally, a Tunisian man has pieced together a local secret linked to ancient emperors. How to make a prized purple dye using the guts of a sea snail. Having begun the journey in 2007 after years of trial and error, as well as getting over the foul stench, Mohamed Gassan Nouira uses a hammer and small stone mortar to carefully break open the spiny murex shells.
Concrètement, ça a commencé en 2007, en septembre 2007. C'était un parcours.
It was a journey that wasn't easy because there aren't many historical writings on the subject. It's very vague. So we had to rediscover the process from scratch. I stumbled upon a small dead murex on a beach by chance. I discovered the color. I had a flashback of a history class that I had taken 12 years before I found the murex shell.
12 ans à l'époque, et bien voilà, c'est comme ça que mon aventure a commencé.
A symbol of power and prestige, the celebrated purple colour was traditionally used for royal and imperial robes.